of the biggest threats to the environment today is apathy. You see the melting ice and the calving icebergs, just huge explosions of natural power. And you think, there's no way I can do anything to stop that. Luckily, nature has some really powerful checks and balances. One of them is the Antarctic krill.
You know, we've been diving, we've been looking, and the krill's quite deep, and we're just not able to get to the krill, so we're bringing the krill to us. I mean, we want to look at these animals that are so rich in fat and lipids and calorie content, and it would just be nice to be able to set them up and have a really intimate macro look at these krill, which are obviously the foundation of all of Antarctica for food. So let's have a close look at these guys.
Krill is a small crustacean. It looks like a little shrimp, and there's a huge biomass of krill in this area. So you need the krill because it's the glue that binds everything together here.
Every species in Antarctica ultimately depend on krill. This is the species that makes this entire ecosystem run. You can see it, especially in these coastal areas where all the surrounding wildlife come to feed. These are the areas that make sense for additional marine protection.
Creating marine protected areas provides a certain resiliency to an ecosystem that's otherwise under a lot of other pressures. And fishing is one of those pressures.
The problem is not how much krill you catch, but how much krill you catch, when and where. And the fishing operations in the last 10 years have been concentrating in very coastal areas, very close to areas that are being used by penguins to forage during the breeding season.
This is the Hans Hansen on 1/6, over.
We are doing a story about krill in the Antarctic area, and we would love to do a little bit of filming of your krill fishing process. We understand that the Longda is part of the ARC krill fishing community, doing responsible krill fishing, over.
Okay, you can first Longda 100 meters and take photos.
Before coming to fish here, they have to notify for the vessel and how much krill they expect to extract. And so all this information is part of the camellar management.
Today, Camellar dictates that the krill fishery take less than 0.5% of the known krill biomass. But it's almost impossible to predict the exact size of that biomass on any given year. And there is no scientific consensus on the overall effect that any fishing has on the Antarctic ecosystem. There is a current narrative around fisheries and how important that is for certain countries that have economical interests here. There's another narrative that has to do with the science. We're just starting to learn how a healthy Antarctic krill population benefits not only the whales and seals and penguins, but also humans and our fight against climate change. Antarctic krill are the most abundant single animal on the planet by weight. Their biomass could be as high as 500 million tons. That's up to 400 trillion individual krill, all eating carbon-rich phytoplankton, and then sinking carbon-rich waste to the bottom of the ocean, where it remains for thousands of years. These tiny crustaceans, swarming together in the cold Antarctic water, are a massive part of the global carbon cycle, and therefore critically important in offsetting the human carbon footprint. We have to continue learning as much as we can about these animals, and we must ensure that they remain protected.